A caterpillar doesn't just decide to cocoon one day because it had a sudden epiphany. It does it because it's now trapped in a skin too small for its own growth. If it doesn't transform, it dies. But no one tells you this part of the story. Inside that chrysalis, the caterpillar doesn't just grow wings. It emits an enzyme called caspases to trigger programmed cell death, dissolving its tissues into liquid. It loses its old self and became nothing for days. When I left my business that has turned into a high-performance cage, I spent 333 days in what seemed like nothingness. I have no job, no income, and I'm away from people. Many people thought I was resting and recovering, which is true, but behind closed doors, I was putting in the most work I've ever did my entire life. I went through metamorphosis of my own. And when I finally opened the door and stepped back into the world, guess what? In that month itself, I received 4 offers without even looking for a job. 1 job offer and 3 partnership offers came to me by themselves. I was in awe and I still am. This just proved that the work that I've put in during this time really worked. If you have come to this point where the things that you used to enjoy doing now feels like a chore, and you seem to be trapped by responsibilities, commitment, your joy is gone, replaced by a heavy sense of, is this it? You knew you are meant for more, but you can't really see a way to reach it. You, my dear, have outgrown your current skin. If you keep trying to be the same person as you were, you will suffocate. It's unfortunate that most people will not come to realize their full potential because it's terrifying to jump out of comfort zone in the first place and to embrace uncertainty. That's why I'm doing this with you. I stayed longer in the darkness than I have to because I don't have a map. I've taken those 338 days of trial and error and distilled them into these 6 actionable steps so you can start the process of metamorphosis of your own without having to live your current life. It's less scary this way and it will work. Instead of being the one who chased, you'll come out of it in a different frequency that will allow you to attract and see the beauty of life. You didn't click on this video by accident. You are ready for the wings. So cheers. This is not wine, by the way. This is Ribena. And my favorite drink with the jelly. Jelly drink. Step 1. The liquidation. Before the wings can grow, the caterpillar has to first dissolve. This is where you get clear on your vision and let go of the things that no longer serves you. If you are the kind of person who does one thing, gets bored, and give out very easily, like going to the gym, learn a new language, or never seems to follow through your New Year resolution, it is not because you're someone who's lazy or not disciplined. It's simply because you haven't found your purpose yet. I saw a recent video saying that purpose is now overrated. I completely disagree. That is only true when your purpose is still bound by the cage, limited by your exposure, defined by your education choice, and your current skills. Why not let your imagination run wild? Everything that you can imagine is possible in this strange wide world. Do you realize how many odd professions there is nowadays in this newer age? If you sleep very well, you can become a professional sleeper whose job is to test mattresses. You can become a beer tester, escape room designers, or a professional cuddler. All this, surprise, high-paying jobs. So if you think it has to be something that is proven to have made someone else a lot of money, and there should be a track record of success, no. It doesn't have to even be a legit job. I'll walk you through it in a minute. During my isolation, I came to realize that my vision was too big for my old self to carry. That self was a people pleaser, constantly seeking external validation and struggling with self-worth. That's why no matter how well I do, I held back from giving myself the credit that I deserve. And I always feels like an imposter. That version of me was bound by limited money beliefs and an extreme introversion. At that time, I was such a workaholic. I was overwhelmed by the amount of workload that I have that sometimes I even feel like avoiding the guard when I came back home. So to become a successful business owner that can stand on my own feet, I have to let my old version die so my higher version could handle the results that I desire. So how do you arrive at your purpose in life? First, you have to figure out what you're good at naturally. And that gives you a lot of joy when you're doing it. Then, figure out a way to make money with it. It sounds so simple, but there's a trick to it. That is why so many people didn't get it, even when they heard about the Japanese concept of ikigai, where you merge what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you are good at. The question that you should ask yourself is, what problem will you help to solve if today is your last day on earth? What will you do if you cannot fail? It can be something as simple as, recording a video and just expressing yourself. If you love fashion, it could be just go out shopping with your family or friends and picking out a shirt that makes them feel very happy about themselves because you have the eye for it. Anything you can think of. The sky is the limit. And remember, freedom is a state of mind. There is no cage in the first place. Really gain clarity of what you wish to do in your next step. Because now is the defining moment to separate you from the life that you were living in the past, say, 5, 10, 20 years, that you slowly realize it's not who you are and not what you love to do. That makes you a survivor in this world of capitalism instead of a fulfilled being who are living out their best. There's one saying that I particularly like. The people around you will define you through their lenses and what is convenient to them, not what's true to you. Only you will know what you truly want to do in this life. Take this metamorphosis process to really know yourself. Once you gain clarity, girl, you are going to be unstoppable. And if you come up with something so grand that other people feel like it's impossible to achieve, let me tell you, it always seems impossible until it's done. Do not feel hopeless when people tell you that you can't do that, or like with your qualifications, with your looks, you can't do that. Just see it as them talking to themselves. In their eyes, they believe that it's not for them and that they couldn't do it in the first place. That's why they are projecting that onto you. If you want it bad enough, it will happen. Step 2, the state of infinite possibilities. In the old world, the caterpillar's job is to eat whatever that's in front of them. But as a butterfly, you now have the vision to see the flowers around you, pick one that you like, and the wings to reach them. What we did in step number 1 was to choose the flower. And you'll wonder how you get there. Now let me spill you a little secret. Figuring out the way is not the priority. Now what's the difference between the poor and the rich? That when a poor man suddenly gets lucky and they receive a huge sum of money, it's very likely that they will lose that amount of money very quickly and spend off a year or two and go back to their same state. But when a rich person goes bankrupt and they lose everything, chances are they will come back stronger, sometimes in a very short amount of time. That will really surprise you. So when we strip money away, what separates the rich and the poor? From what I see is mindset, knowledge, and connections. These 3 are acquirable things. Instead of stressing yourself to look for them, what if I tell you you only need to do this one thing? And paired with your own conscious action, you'll find that everything begins to fall into place in your favor. The most important thing, and the rich knows this, they told me themselves, the most important thing is to calibrate your frequency. Change always comes from within. Reality is made of all these elements in the periodic table, am I right? And all of them has a similarities. They are made of the same building block, which is atom. So everything has energy, is energy, everything vibrates, and everything has a frequency. Like sound, music, light, solid, liquid, gases, everything, literally. Before I talk about manifestation, law of attraction, this is the one thing that is the key for you to upgrade and level up so quickly. The one thing you need to keep in your mind throughout this process of metamorphosis is to maintain a high emotional state, aka a high consciousness. When your emotions are in the lower quadrant, you'll find that things are unexplainably harder. And it's easy to feel like you're unlucky, that things don't go your way, the world is unfair. For you to level up to a better reality and not go into the same old scrape and see the same kind of toxic people coming into your life, the same kind of lessons repeating again and again, you have to put yourself up here. If you continue to use your current level of ego to respond to the things that come out in your life, it will lead to the same outcome. This is very tricky, but make sure you keep this in mind. You now have to exercise your freedom to engage your consciousness. And don't worry, each and every present moment is a decision point for you to change your reality. For example, when a bad thing happened, your boss just scolded you, your partner misunderstood you, or you lost your money. What do your old responses look like? Maybe your thoughts will arise like, why me? Why is it me again? Like that shouldn't have done me wrong. I'm dead. I'll be doomed this time. So think of the energy of those responses. If you choose those frequencies again and again as the situation arises, it is you who decide to stay in that state. It's really just a matter of deciding that you are done living with negative emotions and you are ready to welcome in the frequency of a butterfly. You attract things in the frequency that you emit, and you have the power to sculpt yourself and the life that you desire. In this crossroad where you are deciding, remember there are infinite possibilities out there. Which script will manifest for you really depends on the frequency that you select. So how to do it? How to shift your dominant emotional state to more contentment, joy, and gratitude, despite how your physical environment is right now. If it can't come from within, you have to absorb from without first. So that means listen to high frequency music and watch high frequency content that spreads positivity, give you the motivation and the encouragement that you need. Instead of watching the news, they're telling you the latest scam that's out there or things that generally make you feel fearful or angry, then practice gratitude. In the morning when you wake up, list 3 things that you're grateful for. As simple as having water to drink, having fresh air to breathe, or having a healthy body. Here's a side note. When you see less fortunate people, do not lower your own frequency to pity them. Instead, send them a silent surge of strength. A blessing from you would mean so much more for them. And then immediately anchor yourself in gratitude for the path you've been given. You can't help the world by feeling bad or being completely ignorant of their pain. You help them with your light. And with that, you have to first stay in the light. Step number 3 is the alchemy. This is fun, this is easy, it is manifestation. I've personally manifested really good results, 3 A-star and 1 A in my A-levels. And I've also manifested 100k cash in our company's account. And I was working in social media and have no idea how could I ever achieve it. I wrote down that I would like to spread positive influence and help the world with my ability and my energy. At that time, I was the person behind the camera, never in front. I am shy to speak. I don't think I have good English. I feel like I look weird in front of camera. And today, I am doing it. So from where you are, you only have to know that once your intention is set, you don't have to worry about the steps to get there. The steps will reveal itself to you. And what you have to do is to take conscious action to grab onto them whenever they appear, whenever they come into your mind. and you take one step at a time. And one day you'll look back and be so in awe that all those happened just because you wanted it. So now you know what you want to do with your life moving forward, you know your goals, just write them down on a piece of paper. If you only have one goal, just write one. If you have 10, write 10. Keep it simple and measurable. Write it down on the paper in a list and tape it on your wall. You don't have to read them every single time you pass by. Whenever you have extra time, just read it from the first to the last of your wish. And if you like to bring it up a notch, you can draw it out. I was never the smartest in the room, but I manifested really hard for that. And I remember drawing out the system where they reveal the result exactly in the style of the column where they will report my results in, and writing down the results that I want. At that time, A star seems like really far-fetched, but I just want to have a go of it. So I did that, forget about it, and I studied hard for it. So manifestation is not just about tuning the frequency, you have to put in the action as well. We'll get to that in step number 5. Moving forward to step number 4 is something that you have to be very cautious about. This is the warning sign. Ding, 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 ding. Know that your biggest enemy is not anyone else but yourself. Our brain is wired for survival, and there is a network in our brain called the default mode network that is on whenever we are doing things unconsciously. And it is only normal when you're trying to get out of your usual track that your brain started to fire that warning signs like, no, this is not our usual route. It came out as self-doubt, as that second thoughts that question whether, am I doing the right thing? Can I really do this? No, I should take a step back. I don't think I have what it takes. So all these are just your own neural pathways doing the things to protect you. Because in ancient time, when you go out of tracks, you're exposed to danger. So we are installed with the biological friction that whenever we want to transform, we want to evolve, we feel uncomfortable. And that is only normal. That is how you know that your old skin is shedding, the new you is getting out. You're basically overriding your fears, your demon, your ego. So the key here is to observe and not engage. Strange thing, but life likes to test you in many ways. And your old opportunities, things looks like your old job with higher pay or like better partners, better people will come knocking. Just be aware. You make the decision whether you want to fall back into the same old routine, the same old cycles again. Because honestly, it's quite comfortable right there. And I'm not going to lie, I cannot count the amount of time I almost applied for a job. There's this pressing anxiety that pops up once in a while to remind me that, hey, why don't you look for a full-time job so you have a stable income while you work on this passion of yours at the side? Which sounds perfectly reasonable, but knowing myself, I will get carried away with the responsibilities of my new work and realizing my dream will take even longer than it's supposed to be. And I find this one principle that helped me so much in fighting the doubt that comes up and just have my eye on the goal. Live every day as though it's the last day of your life. Not in an irresponsible way like spending all your money away, but in the most loving way to you, yourself, and the people around you. Because let's be real, we can't predict our future and when we will just disappear. The only thing we can control is now, the present moment. With that, sort your priority. You'll find that you start making decisions more based on your heart. You will have less internal conflict. You will live with more joy and you will be able to spread that to the people around you. Do not identify your fears that come up as you. See it as a challenge that you will overcome. If not now, one day. And very importantly, give yourself the validation that you need. Like, what did you do today? Oh, I drove without swearing at anyone. Good job. I cooked myself a healthy meal. Good job. I held back when I could scream at my partner. Amazing. So give yourself a pat on whichever part of the body that you like. Give yourself the love that you deserve. Once you stop needing external approval, you stop being the prey to the world, to anyone else. You'll protect your own growth and reserve your energy for your new world. Number 5, identity shift. This is how you biohack yourself as you turn from a caterpillar, a crawler, into a butterfly. Our brain works on predictive processing. Our brain decides up to 7 seconds earlier before we even aware of our decision. And it's run on a model that used to what we believe is true about ourselves. So our actions, our habits, our motivations, all of that is pretty much automatic by the brain. That is why it is so important for you to adopt the identity of the person you want to become. So for example, you want to switch from being in corporate to actually having a business of your own. If you don't consciously adopt the identity in the first place, guess what will happen? You'll set your goals that you want to create your own brand, you want to create a website, you want to come up with the products that you want, and you'll find that after the second week, it's so hard for you to get motivated to do all these things. Your brain is not wired to be motivated enough to see these tasks as important. If you still identify to be a caterpillar, you are going to look for leaves to eat instead of flowers and nectar. So, when you want to reach for the nectar, you feel quite helpless and as if you have to pull your body forwards just to reach it. And when you decide today that I am a business owner, almost automatically your brain will look for ways to support that identity shift. Adopting that identity is key for you to actually reach that. This is also the biggest mistake that I realized really late in the process, because at first I was still looking for a lot of opportunities in the creative space. So I spent a lot of time trying to show my creative skills instead of really honing in the psychological aspects of things that I'm going for. So once I have decided I am fully capable of helping people with their transformation, immediately I sign up for therapy courses to become a certified therapist. They say when there is a will, there is a way. To have that will, you need this identity shift. And here we are at the last step, the protocol, the steps to actually make it happen. So before this, your biggest mission is to first befriend yourself, to befriend the new you. Especially if you spend a lot of time in lower vibrational frequency, you will need to take some time to readjust yourself, and that is perfectly fine. This is a very valuable transitional period of your time. So see it as a sacred phase of your life that you allow yourself to take as much time as you need to slowly transition, to accustom yourself to this new frequency. When you find yourself in a much better place emotionally, mentally, this is when we put in the action. It started raining and there's thunder, so I figured I would use a mic. The last step to making it all a reality, I break it down to 3 main areas. One is to feed the mind. It is obvious that we need to learn in order to reach where we want to be. The only reason you feel it's impossible right now is because the current version of you don't have the skills and the knowledge that is required for you to realize that dream. But all of that is acquirable. All you need is time. So every single day, depending on how much time you have, especially if you still have a full-time job, just take out a minimum of 10-20 minutes to acquire the necessary knowledge. It can be as simple as watching a YouTube video, or listening to a podcast, or just sign up for a course and take a lesson a day. Second, build the work. Write down your ideas, brainstorm, do some market research, start creating. You don't need to be perfect from the get-go. You can experiment and keep practicing. All those work counts. Don't feel like you're wasting your time if you can't get it right in the first place. That is where the learning in the previous step comes into play. As you learn, apply it. And very soon, you will see that you are slowly improving. Don't compare your progress with someone who is already doing it for the past few years or 10 years. And number 3, fortify the vessel. I cannot stress how important it is for you to exercise. And a lot of people miss out on this. But one of the key to make yourself feel so much better and have the vitality enough for you to carry this new vision in your life is that your body needs to be strengthened so that not only your energy level can be up there, your capacity, mental, physical capacity to carry out the work that is required will increase tremendously. Especially if you are experiencing burnout or you're a little bit depressed or you feel very suffocated from not being able to live out your truth. Your body stores trauma and emotions through movement, stretching, and working it out. The emotions will get released and you will feel so much better as you see yourself getting fitter, toned, and healthier by the day. You'll find back the spark, trust me, and you will glow the fuck up. So that's all of the 6 steps for you to go through your transformation and come out victorious and possibly unrecognizable. Every single day when you look backwards, even to yourself from yesterday, you can see how much wiser you have become. Walk that journey a step at a time. Know that one day all this will be worth it and your reward is going to be so sweet. But don't lose yourself by only looking into the future. And remember, it is this experience, this journey itself, it is your constant learning, your constant improvement that makes life so magical and interesting. So enjoy the journey as you go, because when you do reap what you sow, it will just be like a cherry on top that completes the journey.